Well, welcome back to the picturesque Mark Cotter Field down in Stellenbosch, where Paul Roos are leading Grey High School by 22-3. 3 tries came via the home side's effort in the first half, and the first one via the rolling maul. It was the captain, JJ Cotter, who was in the boot of this maul, and that maroon machine got going, and he found himself crashing over for first blood. Did the burly number 2 in the form of Cotter. Working in unison were the 8 of Paul Roos, and it was Cotter who came up with the goods.
Next up, it went to the back line. Paul Roos were running free, as you can see. Haynes, who's had a wonderful half in the number 7 jersey, making the initial break. And then to the blind they went, all the way to their left winger, Tiaan Pretorius, who just got some help from Regan van der Westhuizen over the line.
Well, good spinning of the ball through the hands, and then Pretorius darted in the corner, and a wonderful finish from the left winger. And then the third try was some wonderful interpassing from Paul Roos, spun down the back line. Regan van der Westhuizen found Pretorius again, who was prominent. He put in a wonderful grubber kick that was collected by Smith, and then watched the line run behind, short into the gap, and he had the savvy to go in under the bar for Paul Roos's third of the first half. And the defense just disintegrated in front of him, as Hines was credited for the third try and just rewarded for the hard-working number 7 flanker. And here we see the match stats. Well, have a close eye on tackles made. 40 by Grey High School to the 11 from Paul Roos. The set phases are really proving to be a real headache for Grey. 6 out of 10 lineouts will be a talking point in their halftime circle. The possession and territory firmly in favour of the home side, and it's no wonder they lead this Port Elizabeth-based outfit by 19 points at halftime. Well, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in that halftime chat for Grey High School. Alan Miles needs to galvanise his charges, as we see the crowd is packed in on a perfect April afternoon down here in Stellenbosch. And Grey High School really need to sort their set phases out first of all. Secondly, they need to get their hands on the ball, because at this stage there's only one side in it.
When they get their hands on that ball, they need to make the right decisions. They had some lineouts that they took at the end of the half there that they could have better dealt with.
And it'll be Volata to get us underway, and he'll be kicking off.
Volita for the men in maroon launches it towards the touchline. Very flat kickoff, putting Grey under pressure immediately once again. Andrew Dalglish forced to get his feet working, and Setarak for the men in blue. Difficult pass to collect. Ronaldo Pedro passing to Matthew Easton. And immediately from the beginning of the second half, Grey kicking down the throats of Paul Roos, caught by Smith and given off to Mostert. Good running rugby by Paul Roos, crossing the halfway line. Picking up and charging on once more. It's Regan van der Westhuizen. That's off to Robbie Rogers. Taking them further towards the center of the field. Zander Botha. Great offload in the contact. It's from Jaron Keynes to Mikado du Preez. Botha, Heinz. That's off to JJ Cotter. Continues to lay waste to men whenever he gets the chance. Zander Botha. Mostert. He's done very well every time he gets ball in hand. Very elusive. It does feed his players very well. Once again, it's Heinz. Charging through the line, Botha. Short pass off the ruck. Surely that man is still held on the ground. He's placed back. Short ball to Robbie Rogers, who's well met in the tackle. Men over the ball from Grey. Confident they've got there, but it's a penalty against them.
You first came on the side and straight off feet. You are fine because of him. The penalty goes against you.
So he was there?
No, he came on the side. First man came on the side. Him came on the side. And went off feet.
Well, just some running repairs to both locks for Grey High School. And after a positive start from the visitors. They find themselves in familiar territory inside their own 22-meter area, as we see a substitution coming on the field, and it is the lock from Grey High School, who looks like his afternoon has come to an abrupt end. Laken Gray is walking with a bit of a foxtrot.
One of the two Currie Cup players from last year for Grey High, along with Dumisa and Livana. So that's very disappointing for Grey.
But again, it is Paul Roos who now find themselves 5 meters out. And again, it is Smut who's in the boot of this line-out. And if you're a betting man, you'd say that more at again.
Ricardo Dupree is the man who received. JJ Kotzer joins in and starts thrusting them on. Robbie Rogers at the back. Great players coming all around the side. That's CJ Greff reaching in for the ball in the number 6 jersey. Legally so, scrum down to Grey from Port Elizabeth.
He came through the middle, he ended up on that side.
Well, JJ Kotzer remonstrating with the referee. He's not going to change his mind.
We can play, that's fine.
CJ Greff managed to thwart that Maroon attack, as we see another sub making his way onto the field. And it is Theo Rapines who's replacing the number 5 Laken Gray for Grey High School.
You got the lock in? Yeah. Okay, 7.
And just over the last 5 or so minutes, Paul, this wind has picked up significantly, and it is firmly in the faces of Grey High School.
We're going to reset this way.
Want to get a proper exit going here. Well, they've got nothing to lose here. Spin it through their hands. The left wing of Paul Roos, who's out of your shot in the television sets at home, is far back on the 22-meter line. So if Grey High School can find some space, they could potentially free up the right winger. And Joshua stays in.
Bind. Sit.
Big pressure on Grey PE. The scrum wheels significantly, but we will have another set.
Through the 45.
And they've got to get this right. Do great. Got to get their scrum set.
Well, there you see it, Paul. It's 3 defenders against 5 attackers now. No, it's ambitious for Grey High School to spin it through their hands, but they find themselves 19 points adrift. The left winger of Paul Roos is not even in the frame. So have a crack from here. Don't die wondering.
And with the breeze blowing into their faces, they will have to run the ball more, as the wind will push their kicks right back at them. Big hits in the center field from Paul Roos. And continue to try to run it just as Gareth asked for, down the right-hand side, but unfortunately could not hold on to possession. Tian Pretorius, try scorer from the first half, pounces upon the ball, and Paul Roos once again a mere 7 meters out from the Grey line. Zanderborta calling forwards towards him. He knows exactly how he wants to manage this situation. Big, strong hit coming from the replacement for Grey, Theo Rapines. And a turnover ball for Grey. They've got a penalty.
Hands are free to place the ball,
CJ Greff has led the lone charge at the breakdown for Grey High School. He's been simply sublime as the man in the number 6 jersey, and he's won yet another penalty for his side, as fly off Matthew Easton puts it into touch. Again, the chop tackle coming in, and then look at the work done by the hard-working number 6 flanker, CJ Greff. He was injured for a large part of last year, was Greff, and many people down in the Eastern Cape say this is his year. Talented number 6 flanker is Greff.
Is that line out good? It is straight and true. Trying to grabber it through the line, but he's been stopped in his tracks there. LJ Dupree almost got away.
Touch the ground before you kick it. It's almost
has been called a knock on, and we will have a scrum down to Paul Roos, dead center in the field, about 25 meters out from the Grey PE line.
That's not good enough. Come on, James. Let's keep the ball in play.
More of a drop kick.
There's a mark.
And
okay, we're not resetting the scrum. We're not resetting. Let's get it right. Ear to ear first.
Attacking opportunity now for Paul Roos. I've been impressed with the 9-10 axis of Paul Roos and Zander Botha and Juan Mostert. They've controlled things pretty well this afternoon.
That they have once again in the hands of Zander Botha. Mostert spreads it this time to Van der Westhuizen, trying to get on the outside of his man, and he's done just that. Desperately looking for an inside ball, could not get it between the two tacklers to Remy Engelbrecht. It will be a line out to Gray if it didn't touch one of them on the way back.
Some good catching and passing by Paul Roos. Ball on in front of the man. Mostert spins it through the hands, and Regan van der Westhuizen breaking down the touchline. You feel if passes had gone to hand, Paul Roos could find themselves closer to the 40 mark as opposed to the 22 and on the scoreboard at the moment, as Laken Gray has now returned back to the fray.
To the front of the line-out, this time under pressure. It is well taken. It might have been Gray right back on the field, taking that one at the front, taking the responsibility. The offload does not come off, and Paul Roos have taken it away from Gray High once more. Zander Botha sends it to the left. Is this Mostert? He gets the pass away to Van der Westhuizen. Try time, Paul Roos.
Well, you just know that the damn wall was going to break, and it is Regan van der Westhuizen who has got in for try number 4. And Paul Roos are now starting to run amok down here in Stellenbosch. Taking it to the line was Mostert. Great offload to his hard-running centre, and Van der Westhuizen has got in for their 4th of the afternoon. The flick pass to the big number 13 centre has proved fruitful, and it'll be Kade Valuta who will look to add the extras now.
We remove the probe.
He's had a good day with a boot 3 from 4, and he'll look to extend that lead to 26 points if he can steer this between the uprights.
So, we move him.
Kade Valuta raises the flags. Yet another conversion, taking it to 4 out of 5 and taking the scoreline to 29 points to 3.
Just poor defense from Grey High School, standing off Mostert and Enrique Franks, and Macho Lweni had no answer for the hard-running centre, Regan van der Westhuizen.
Matthew Easton with yet another restart in this match. Paul Roos has dominated ever since the good start that Grey Port Elizabeth got off to at the beginning of the first half, but they have ball in hand in the Paul Roos half now. Just been a rare occasion upon which that has happened.
Before the pass.
Foot in touch before the pass, as you hear from our referee Sina Temba Murua.
Sorry.
Line out Paul Roos.
Go, 3.
Captain JJ Kotza
Line there.
to feed this line out, and he does find once again Mikado Dupree, such a reliable option in the line out on defense and attack. Good aggressive running from Van der Westhuizen, who's grown in confidence through this match. They are struggling to deal with his physicality in the midfield. Botha. It's Mikado Dupree. Seems to target him when he does carry the ball. Put big hits on him, do the Grey players. Slowing things down on Paul Roos. Always have very good protection of any of their ball carriers. Mostert.
No, not held.
Never gets tackled by the first man, does Mossi.
Stay on.
Zander Botha. Kotza. Targeting men. Perhaps could have carried on running there. Backed his power. It's a great effort at a counteract, but it's a lone ranger from Grey PE there trying to make a turnover. This is Brendan Fenter. Zander Botha dumped backwards in the tackle. It's the kind of initiative that Grey need, trying to get stuck into that rack, but more good protection from Paul Roos. Committing players, and now they're on the break. Tian Pretorius, well met by Enrique Franks. And a penalty coming the way of Grey High. Had a great tackle from Franks.
Oh, what a solid hit coming in from the fullback on the left wing of the home side, Pretorius. And again, it is Paul Roos who've been penalised at the breakdown for sealing off, and it was Johan Baer this time Look at the break coming from Pretorius now. For money, he thought he was gone, but look at the hit coming in from Franks. Bang! Great tackle. And Boa being penalised for sealing off.
The line is the middle here.
Slabbert goes long once more. Far better this time around. CJ Greef receiving. And if Gray could have had some more ball like that, who knows what the scoreline could be right now. They've sacrificed far too much possession to the men in maroon. Going to the blind. Committing players. Staying on his feet. Well presented. Once again, it's Pedro. Sending it to the open side. CJ Greef involved. Pedro. Hits it off to his back line. And Gray are making some meters. The carry is from Lake and Gray. Craven Week representative, Pedro. This is perhaps the most consistent possession that Gray have had all game long.
Is on his feet.
Put the ball down and picked it up. Very good thinking and a penalty.
You're on the ground. Get on your feet first.
Coming in the way of the men in light blue.
Well, it's yet another penalty, and just to stab at it, I bet you about 8 of those penalties conceded against Paul Roos have been at the breakdown. Taken in by Greef, and then again Paul Roos infringing. Not releasing the tackle player, and then the hand coming in somewhat harsh.
And shift along the line out,
You be the judge at home.
No, I'm happy with that.
Not the safest carry from Greef. Gray PE get away with it, and they're inside the 22-meter line of Paul Roos here. Captain Slabbert goes to the back once more. He's grown in confidence on that long ball. The lineouts in the first half were inconsistent, to say the least. But now that he was getting it right, he thought he could find his man again. No such luck. CJ Greef could not hold on, and Paul Roos have the ball inside of their own 22-meter line. They're showing no intention of kicking right now. They've been very successful with ball carry throughout this match. Good tackle from Yoisa Tlatla. Mostert with the grabber through. Can he retain? No, he can't. Great tackle, though, on Joshua Oosthuizen. Deemed high.
Well, it's the captain, Kotze, who might find himself in a bit of hot water here. Let's just have a listen to the ref.
Let's talk about the tackle with it. For me, it's that and it's slip up. Happy with it? Okay, no force straight to the neck. It's number 2. Number 10. Okay. High.
Well, they've pointed out Mostert being the guilty culprit for a dangerous tackle. It'll be Easton's trying to find touch, and he's made a pig's ear of it.
Unbelievable scenes. That is sinful, considering the position that Gray PE are in to miss touch. Could be very disappointed with himself, Mr. Easton. And Gray are in their own half, having to start from scratch once more. From square one.
Stay on 15.
They are on the halfway line. That's where this ruck is set. To the blind side they go, and Easton looks for the same corner he was seeking earlier. This time he does dissect 2 players. Pretorius has some decisions to make. He takes on a couple of Gray defenders. He is isolated.
Stay back.
Men almost got over that ball. Could not drive through. Could Joshua Oosthuizen. Offsides against Gray. Things keep on going wrong. Jared Cairns, though, dominated in the tackle.
2.
Well, the tactic is somewhat bizarre from Matthew Easton. He's kicking away possession. He's got to keep ball in hand.
I mean, U6. Never onside here.
Gray High School are penalised for offside play. He also needs a bit of help from his outside backs. They're completely silent at the moment, which gives the Fly limited options. That man in shot, Greef, has had an outstanding afternoon. As we see Gray High School being penalised. Well, we're a mile offside, those dressed in light blue.
Captain Kotze to feed this line out right in front of the Paul Roos fans. And once again, he finds the ever-reliable Mikado Dupree, and forward come Paul Roos. This was so successful in the first half, and now they have a march on. Gray finally committing some players to that, but the men from Port Elizabeth need to continue. They do not, and they have a great line going behind right now, Paul Roos. There would be seemingly no stopping this unless they infringe. And a penalty advantage is coming the way of Paul Roos. Zanderboerter waiting for the ball to come back to him, but for now, the Maroon men march on. And 5 meters out from the line, truly cynical play from Gray. Laken Gray coming around the outside.
Well, surely that's a penalty try. He's given a yellow card to Laken Gray, but you would expect a penalty try. They've marched Gray High School all of 40 meters downfield. An unbelievable rolling ball. And Laken Gray finds himself in the sin bin. And it's a failure to deal with the maul that has really hurt this Gray High School side this afternoon. And now they face a Paul Roos pack with 8 of their players into 7 of the Gray High School guys.
7.
Insult to injury for Gray, and another rolling maul is coming at them.
Stay on here.
It's gone to ground, collapsed. Doesn't appear to be an advantage being played. And a penalty comes the way of Gray High. If there's one thing they can take away from this match, it's the way they've defended on their own try line.
Well, Robbie Rogers being penalised for a double roll close to the Gray High School line. But look at that body language of the men from Port Elizabeth as Easton finds touch. However, he's still under pressure, about 15 meters from their line. Rogers just been brought to ground and then rolled once, rolled a second time, and hence the penalty going against him.
8.
Look at ejected bunch to the men from PE.
Well, the fans don't look as dejected as the players. That much is for sure.
Backwards.
These young lads from Gray that have travelled all the way down to Stellenbosch today are having a whale of a time.
Let's go.
And Easton has not found touch. Paul Roos once again can get onto the attack. Voliter, he spreads it to Engelbrecht. Has very few chances today, Engelbrecht, so he takes this one. Runs into 2 defenders. Zander Botha spreads that very far from the initial ruck. A powerful run from Munk Sharink.
That's forward, back to advantage, yes.
Yet another penalty. Penalty after penalty coming the way of Paul Roos. This has been a difficult afternoon for the men from Eastern Cape.
Okay. High.
Well, it's a penalty going the way of Paul Roos for a hard tackle.
Okay, are you kicking for the line? Let's go to the line, then we wait for him.
You'd expect Moster to try find touch as close as he can to that 5-meter line. And he's put in a neat touch finder as the lanky pivot.
4.
And the step coming in from Engelbrecht. The high tackle from Daglish around the neck. Hence a penalty going the way of Paul Roos.
Right now, Makata Dupree, the #1 line-out receiver for Paul Roos, is limping his way off the field. He does not appear that he'll be coming back on this afternoon. And we do wish him all the best. Doesn't look too serious.
Let's go.
Well, Matthew Cordy.
How many?
In fact, it is
5.
Gerard Kluti who has made his way onto the field for Dupree.
Scrum off. Number 9. Shift.
JJ Kotze, the captain of Paul Roos, feeds the line out. Another fine take at the back. They set them all.
Use it.
March over the man that made the sack.
That
The sack which was good. It's come spilling out the back of that maul. Mostert, Van der Westhuizen looking for a gap, but well tackled by his opposite number, Liema Macholweni. But still charging at the line, Paul Roos. And over they go is Gerard Kluta. The man's barely been on the field for 60 seconds.
Well, the replacement, Gerard Kluti, has found himself in the try scorers column. And it is try number 5 for Paul Roos as the Maroon machine keeps ticking along. Good line run by Kluti, and he's in for the 5-pointer.
Did you ref today?
No, I see AO.
Okay.
Well, the spirit here at Marquette Field is
so
alive and
fine.
well. What a great afternoon it is. So great to see so many happy faces and a wonderful schoolboy occasion as the conversion goes over from Cade Voliter, 36 points to 3.
Moster taking it to the line, a hard angle run by Van der Westhuizen, picked it up and went again, and then look at the work done by the replacement Kluti. Try number 5 for Paul Roos, and they've certainly packed away this Grey High School side this afternoon.
Easton, another restart from him. Far too many for the likes of Grey High this afternoon. As you can see, more subs making their way onto the field. A bruising match it has been between these two proud schools, both of which have roots dating back to the 19th century.
You two get out of the way. Now we are rolling on the oncoming players. Go to the side.
Many of the backs will receive the plaudits tonight, but let me tell you, this Paul Roos pack has worked tirelessly. 1 to 5. Every single clean-out has been pretty accurate from Paul Roos. They'll need work on their breakdown as Mostert puts in a massive touch finder that bounces in field.
And it has been given to Enrique Franks.
7, keep moving.
A man who's done most of his work on defense. That kick has not found touch, and it's put his team under massive pressure. What a run from Jared Cairns. And the turnover is special.
He's arriving.
Oh, that's the man who's been playing well all afternoon. CJ Greef getting stuck in at a crucial time.
Well, he's stood man alone for Grey High School as Greef. He's been outstanding this afternoon as Easton finds touch. But as I was saying, every single time Paul Roos have got over the gain line, as we see another barnstorming run from Cairns. I mean, look at the pilfering done by Greef. Brilliant by the open side flanker.
Textbook stuff. Slabbert feeds once more. They continue to go to the back of the line-out, and it's gone over the man once more. This is LJ Duprier cleaning up for Grey. Cutting through the line is Pedro. A wonderful play. He's looked for the man on the outside, but nothing will go right for the men from the Eastern Cape today. Yet another knock-on.
Well, it's a limited break from Grey High School. Outrageous dummy shown by Pedro. Everybody bought it. And then, quite bizarrely, he didn't time his pass at all as Pretorius came across, just flung it out to his right winger in Douglas. And it has gone awry again for those in blue.
Yet another successful lineup for Paul Roos. It's been amazing, but it's that man CJ Greef ripping the ball away in the most unlikely of circumstances. And here's LJ Duprier charging through tackles. This is a huge opportunity for Grey. They've got Paul Roos on the run. Oh my goodness, that is a big hit. But they still come to Grey. Franks on the inside. He finds the Emma Macholweni 5 meters out. Oh, Grey High. Can they get the ball back in this rack? They do eventually. Great contest from Paul Roos, though, really slowing the ball down. Yolisa Tata is forced to clean up.
No hands, red.
And Maroon defenders are back and well set now. Penalty to Grey. Tap and go from Pedro. Pedro reaches out.
No.
Over the line is Tata. No, it's Lieme Macholweni getting the first try for Grey.
He grounded it short. He didn't lose it, the ball.
Oh, all of a sudden, Grey have been sparked into life, and it's from the tap and go of the scrum of Pedro. It is Liema Macholweni who's got in for Grey's first try this afternoon. Tap and go. Pedro thought he was in. He was just short, and then Molweni decided to pick up and go. And he's got in for Grey's first try this afternoon.
Just bring him on.
And Easton will be looking to add the extras. Solid strike from Easton, and it has just drifted away to the right of the uprights, and it is Grey High School who trail by 36-8. But good to see those in light blue showing a never say die attitude as the outside centre Liema Macholweni has got in for their first try.
Great effort from Grey, great spirits to continue fighting, get that turnover and just capitalize quickly, play quick ball, get it out to the wings. They got down into the 5 meter line and got themselves their first try of the match. Voliter gets us underway, having to block out the sun before receiving that is Captain Slabbert. Oh, and he has been crunched in the midfield. There has not been a lack of feeling out here on Marcotta Field here today. Plenty of big hits. The grabber through could work out, just tripping. The most important of times. Is that going to be deemed a trip?
Well, that's a yellow card if he's tripped him.
Guy that wanted to go past,
okay? It was a clear trip.
Trip, using a leg,
Yeah.
tripping him, so
Yeah,
that's
number-
dangerous.
Number 14 would have gotten the ball there.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a yellow card for tripping, no arms there. Okay, you didn't use your arms on a tackle, use your leg, it's dangerous. Okay, you tripped him off.
Well, it's the captain, JJ Cotter, who's found himself spending time in the bin for a trip. And he's fairly unhappy as the captain of Paul Roos.
They got time over there.
Fortunately for him, he was just a few steps away from the bin.
Not a long walk for Cotter.
He's backward now.
Well, that's a very tough call. I can see why he's shaking his head. Pretty unlucky.
What's done is done. And the captain, Kotso, is on the bench.
Wait.
Here we are, Slabbert feeds the line out. Gray do get it right that time, and they immediately spread the ball down the back line, finally showing some positive intent this afternoon. Enrique Franks is the man caught with ball in hand. Pedro weighs up his options, and a great ball is handed off to Andrew Dalglish, who's charging up the field, but he's hunted down by Brendan Fenter, who's over the ball, off his feet now. Turnover ball, though, he got it before that. Brendan Fenter, how about that for defense? Number 12 tracking back, hunting a winger down and making the turnover. Brilliant. Remy Engelbrecht. Buerta. Moster.
Let's go.
Dalglish is there to field. Dalglish weighing up his options. He takes the men on again. He's starting to feel it, and it's very late on to be starting to feel it. But it's good to see him finally playing the game. To the blind Pedro. Once again finds the man well. If they could only have been playing like this throughout the match. LJ Dupree is deemed to have knocked that ball on in the carry. It's been a tough afternoon for the number 12. Hadn't seen much with ball in hand, and he's been forced to make plenty of tackles.
Pedro to LJ Dupree, and then just been scythed down by another Paul Roos player. Well, I'll tell you, Grey High School have left it way too late. They've come into a little bit of their own, but it's taken 60-odd minutes to fire them up. As Dupree has got his running repairs, he's back up on his feet.
Let's correct this. The ball came off you, then it's blue ball, right? It came off you, then it's blue ball.
Grey High School will be looking for another score just to add some respectability to that scoreline.
The call was from the side already. Yeah, and understand you got a hooker.
I don't think the scoreline.
Please, or you can swap play in the flanker if you want to. No.
Paul Roos need to take a man off as the hooker. JJ Kotze is in the bin, so it is 7 against 8. In fact, it's 7 against 7 at schoolboy level. They have to have an even contest at scrums.
Has come back for Pedro. That was Easton, and they've continued down the centre, but Gray cannot hold on to the ball for any measure of time, and Paul Roos have turned it over again. Zander Buerta. Fenter spreads it wide with a brilliant pass, and here is Voliter taking men on. The pass on the inside does find Pretorius, making it happen, but Gray have hands on the ball there. Turnover, great work. I think that's LJ Dupree. He was just getting treated for injury. Now it's the man back from the sin bin, Laken Gray. Their Craven Week lock.
Well, one positive Grey High School can take out of this contest has been their work at the breakdown. They've been reigning supreme, and this time it was Laken Gray who got his hands on the ball. Certainly a positive going forward. However, not too many for those dressed in light blue this afternoon.
Let's go, chance. Let's play.
The score does not flatter Grey High.
Let's play.
Who are far better
No, we don't need
than
him
this.
Here. Let's play.
They've been ranked at an average of 4th over the last 5 years in schoolboy rugby.
He's coming in, stay on.
And as you can see from the way they've been playing in the second half, they have a lot more in their tank than they've shown here this afternoon. Slabber to the front this time. Laken Gray dominating. That's the kind of aggressive line-out work you need when you're struggling. Pedro gets it off to LJ Van Zyl. LJ Dupree, pardon me. Another penalty to Gray.
Leave.
Plenty of calls coming their way in the second half. Pedro He gets the ball over the top to Easton. That's a great pass to the outside, but Andre Dalglish started thinking about what he was going to do next before he caught the ball.
Stay on, yeah.
No knock-on called. Pedro. That's good stepping from Yolisa Tladla.
Stay on.
Pedro. Easton. It's from the LJ Duprier. They're running with pace now on the outside as Oosthuizen.
No.
Tian Pretorius
No. Play on.
holding on, and Duprier grubbers through.
He didn't knock
Once
it
again, bedlam on that far side of the field. Eventually a line-out resulting.
Well, a gilded opportunity gone amiss for Grey High School. Spun through the hands. And Oosthuizen had meant to burn on the outside. Criminally didn't let the ball go. And that is a certain 5-pointer that has gone awry.
That's very well spotted, Gareth. Need backline players to see those kind of things. As time ticks away for Grey High School. The men in light blue have had a very tough time of it on the Marcotta field here in Stellenbosch this afternoon. And Paul Roos planned to run it at them right until the final whistle. And right now it's in the hands of Engelbrecht. Remy Engelbrecht, the number 14 for Paul Roos, getting a chance to stretch his legs, and he took it all the way. Eventually getting tackled into touch. Now Remy Engelbrecht, he has pace to burn, as does the man on the other side of the field, Tian Pretorius. Some very, very quick wings in this maroon side this year. And what a year it promises to be. They continue to score points. They've won their first 5 matches by 68 points or more. Scoring 68 points or more, rather. And this will be just the second loss for Grey in 6 matches. And that is deemed not straight.
Outside. No contest, but played on the outside. Scrum.
That has been the story of Grey High's game. They have not been any good at the set piece.
Scrum.
Especially the line out.
On the outside, there's no contest.
And referee Sinatemba Murulwa has been merciless. That perhaps was one of the straighter ones.
We have 1 minute on the board.
That Mr. Slabbert has thrown in today, although he's had plenty of successful line-outs, of course.
Play to the whistle, please. Number 8 out, please. Still 7 players on. Thank you. Let's go.
As you can hear, they had to take a player out of the scrum, did Grey, to make sure that we are scrumming with equal numbers.
Sit.
Less than a minute to play here at the Marcotta Fields in the Premier Interschools, the 3rd Premier Interschools match of 2018. And Paul Roos continued to attack. Engelbrecht cutting the line off the right wing. And in at the centres, Porter sends it blind. This is Volitar. Volitar has shed the man, and Volitar will dot down over the line. Sheer joy from those who are supporting Paul Roos here today, as they've scored try after try. And Kate Volitar, does anybody deserve a try more than him? The man who's been so proficient with the boot. As we take another look, numbers running out for Grey on the blind side. They just could not continue making their tackles. Desperate attempt from Liema Macholweni. But as you can see, Volitar just testing the outside gap. He could see the defender wasn't there. Bided his time and was able to dot down over the line without too much exertion. And he will attempt to convert his own try as the 70 minutes have elapsed. Schoolboy rugby, of course, 35 minutes a half. And Paul Roos have been utterly dominant here today. 6 tries in the bag. That's the final one from this very man, Kate Volitar. Let's see if he can add the extra 2. Another clean strike from Mr. Volitar, and Paul Roos can celebrate a victory in the Premier Interschools derby between Paul Roos and Grey High from Port Elizabeth. The men from the Eastern Cape came down here with high hopes. They'd won 4 out of 5 matches, but they came up against a side just far too strong. In the end, it's 6 tries to 1, Paul Roos dominant, and the final score, Paul Roos 43, Grey High 8.